only, like toilet paper is our go-to.
I love getting my hair cut, especially when there's a scalp massage involved.
But she would say, your body is a temple and you need to take care of it.
We have a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, where he just ate garbage. How long was that? A year?
Do this. I can't do this without Cassie and the kids enabling me to do this.
I find myself encouraging myself, so I'm like, no, you can do this. Don't give up.
We got lots to say.
I love my husband so much and my son. I had a baby. Her name is Isla.
I want to see the baby. I've definitely had multiple drinks on multiple episodes.
Loosen up.
It's a podcast. We're here to have fun, so enjoy yourself.
Good morning, November 10th.
Ish estimated audience members. Sorry, my mic's a little fucked up.
I'm sorry. What did you say? 17 people already?
No, I don't know how many. It's all,
okay.
It's all made
well,
up.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. We made it.
I'm told that there were some technical difficulties in one of the last episodes, so I want to apologize for that. One of us was cutting out. I can't remember who.
Okay.
And
probably me.
And I think it may have been me, but the last 7 days it's been 11 people. But also, when I was playing the Halloween music,
that
media shit, it didn't come through on the recording, and I don't know how.
Oh.
So I got to figure out what we did wrong there.
That is an excellent question. It's playing through your headphones and not out loud.
I guess so, yeah.
Okay.
It shows only our 7-day audience size. Audience. So that's just demographics.
Okay.
Anyway,
so
here we are.
Colin, we're going to start this one off.
With a bang?
I have a very important question for yourself.
I'm super
excited.
For
the audience members, okay? I don't need an answer today, but I would like an answer in eventuality, okay? Jordan and I were discussing this heavily the other night. Should they make a remake of the Grumpy Old Men series?
Oh boy. Oh.
Who would play? So Walter Matthau and John Lemon's character.
Mm-hmm.
And then also their father, whose name I can't possibly remember.
Yeah, that's damn it. Meredith Brooks.
There you go. He played Rocky's trainer as well.
Yeah.
Fun fact. Because we were talking about this. We felt like they have to be in comedy. Preferably a duet, but there's not that many anymore. It was like maybe a much more common thing back in their time. I feel like it's not so much anymore a thing to have a duet, a comedy duo. But they have to be like curmudgeon-y, no? Oh, am I disconnected? Sorry.
You're coming in and out. I got the gist of the idea of the question.
The spirit of the message.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said at the end, but I get so torn up about this kind of stuff because on the one hand, I feel like remakes are cheap.
Unnecessary.
I think it I don't know, it could bring into question the quality of the original.
No. Right.
It could like, I don't know. Some things are just good enough as they are, and they should just be that. And there should be no more. You know what I mean?
Totally. And so I guess we posed
specialness.
Agreed. We posed the question not so much to see a production of said film.
Yeah. It's like, who would it be though?
As who would play these characters as well as they were originally portrayed today. And is that even possible?
I mean, it's definitely possible. It's just who would it be? and the nice thing about this is, I think This is, I mean, I'm always speaking off the top of my head. So.
Off the cuff? Is that what they call it?
It's dangerous. Yeah. It's dangerous. First thoughts, in and out. I feel like there's a lot more, these two characters have a lot of personality.
Yeah.
And you can map that onto a lot of actors that would fit that age group right now.
Totally.
And I think a lot of different people could bring a lot of really good performances to those roles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm thinking of, I don't know, man. Like Steve Martin would probably be a good one. I think, I don't know, he's still with us, right? I can't remember who's died.
You know what? That's a really good point, because there are some people who, yeah, he's still with us, who are still alive, and some people who've passed away, and I conflate so many of them.
Yeah.
Celebrity wise, I'm like, wait a minute. And then there's the rumor mill, right? Like you get a fake headline come in when you're scrolling a website and you're like, wait, what? And then it's not real. But then sometimes your brain thinks it is and then remembers this the wrong way. Anyway, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
You know who's gonna play the dad, Meredith Brooks, is gonna be Joe Biden. Yeah, he's now that he's not the president, he'd be the perfect.
I feel like Bill Clinton would play a good Meredith Brooks. No.
Yeah, but I feel like he's typecast. I don't think you'd be able to see it outside of. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. You know what I mean?
Fair.
He's like.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't be good for that role because of his history.
I think he'd be good for the role, like you said. I just think I wouldn't be able to really enjoy it as much because I'd just be seeing Bill Clinton. Or, yeah, even Joe Biden, to be honest. It's just a funny comparison.
Yeah. Age-wise, for sure.
You know what, though? If we waited another 10 years, we could do the weirdest crossover where Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels do Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be interesting. I mean,
similar point to before is, would you be able to not see Dumb and Dumber, you know?
Yeah, that is a good point. But I mean, they played characters together in many other movies, but I guess they were kind of always like the goofy pair.
No, and not them separately, but them together. I think you would just. I know I would. I would associate those two. Who do you think?
We kind of went down a rabbit hole. On the top of my list, just because he'd have to be like a grump, was Marc Maron.
Who Jordan mentioned, and I had to look him up. I don't know him very well at all. I'm not familiar with like any of his work.
I first saw him in God. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna look up the name because I don't want to get it wrong. Oops.
Freaking Bluetooth mouse. Every time, like, it shuts off after 5 minutes. So I think I'm trying to find my cursor and it just disappeared on me.
Who's that? Oh my god.
There's a list here. Hot males over 60.
Glow. Did you ever watch Glow?
No, I don't think so. You know, what about Harrison Ford? You could be like an angry, grumpy guy.
Yes. I think Jordan and I got on a tangent of like wanting to find people who are currently comedians, specifically, or maybe started as comedians. And so we were like, maybe, is it Ray Romano?
Ray Romano.
Like, because he kind of played like that grumpy husband.
Yeah, he's like really.
We named a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we named a few people. So Jordan had Bill Burr at the top of his
Bill Burr would be really good, yeah.
And then we also mentioned George Carlin, but hang on.
He's dead.
I need to fact check. Yeah, I was like, I don't think he's alive anymore.
I feel like
he would, a long time ago.
He would be a very different version of it, but Denzel Washington, I think, would do an incredible grumpy old man.
Oh, okay.
And I'm really just aging his performance from Training Day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Sam Elliott. Oh man, Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck. Not only would they be like great grumpy old men, but they would be probably the hottest grumpy old men.
The
You know?
hottest grumpy old men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those two
you'd have
fucking
all the ladies at the movie theater.
I mean, all the boys would be there too.
Well, yeah, that's fair. Sold out every
I'd
day.
be front row.
So we can maybe put it out to the audience. Who do you guys think would play the grumpy old man characters if it were being done today? And also, if you haven't had the delightful chance to watch these movies, you must.
Really should.
They're amazing, in my opinion. I don't want to talk them up too much because then people are going to go in with high expectations. But like, you just go in expecting a 90s comedy, and I feel like it delivers.
Yeah, that's an interesting point because I'm wondering, why this movie in particular are we talking about, and not any other remake that they've done?
Well, I think it's because
and not for nothing. I love the movies. I think it's great, but I wonder, like, what movies would people want to see remade? Because I don't, like I said earlier, I don't care for the remakes, but
yeah,
reviving a really good story is also, it's still just fun.
Yeah, and I don't want to say there's more of it, but there's more opportunity for it, perhaps, because there's been so much time since, we'll say, the dawn of movies.
Yeah.
Like in the 80s, there wasn't that much history there. The 90s even. And then you start getting into the 2000s. And like some remakes were happening then, and then 2010s a bunch, and like I feel like in the last 10, 15 years, you're just seeing, I don't want to say lots of remakes, but like probably statistically more than ever before. So.
Yeah, and I mean, especially with Disney, they did so many live action remakes.
Yeah, those are such a hit. And they're doing them really well, I think. So all the power to them,
Yeah, they're not just phoning it in. They're putting a lot of effort into it, which is nice.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so I won't. I don't want to influence people's thoughts too much either.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'd love to hear the opinion of the public on this one. I have an enormous list of Gen Alpha slang.
Wow.
17 items that we have not yet.
Oh my God. Okay, well, let's
brought to light. So I thought I'm not going to mention them all today. I'll bring a couple up, but I'll check them off, and then we can talk about other ones on other podcasts. Because also, I don't want this whole episode to be Jen. Who's this diva? So I also didn't look any of these up beforehand because I was like, I want this to be an honest take. So the word diva was a compliment, one reserved for only the greatest singers in the... Oh no, this is not. No, I need Gen Alpha slang. There we go. Where is it? Where is it? Something came up where they said, okay, here. Saying, who's this diva on a post about someone's bold attitude or the way they hold themselves is a customary in this silly
Get a load of this blowhard.
Who's this diva? Yeah. 28. meaning slang.
Pose 28?
Yeah, so Pose 28 is a posture from a popular Roblox game called Dress to Impress. What does it mean in slang?
So dumb.
So it has something to do with... Oh my gosh, there's a video on TikTok about breaking down. Okay, so it originates from Roblox. Pose 28 is a preset you can use when you show off your outfit on the runway. You bend back and push your pelvis forward in an awkward way. It's an odd pose. And you have your, they're showing like an example of what Pose 28 looks like. And people are like spreading their legs. And then like, yeah, just like thrusting their hips forward, putting their arms back. It's very silly. But I guess that's a thing. Okay, this next one, maybe this will be the last one. Tell me what you think this means, Colin. Big back.
Big back? Like, could be either really like complimentary, like really strong. Look at this person; they carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, or like this person's like a troll, super duper ugly. I don't know. I'm trying to cover a huge spread here.
Yeah, I think it's super simple. It just means you have a big butt.
Big back. Ugh, That's so dumb.
Yeah.
If you asked me what long back meant, I could have told you that. But I don't think the Gen Alphas know about that one. Fucking with their Pose 28. What a bunch of losers. Get better slang.
Watch your kids start doing this. Watch all of our kids start doing this.
Oh my god.
This week,
Olivia keeps saying bruh and
yeah,
yo,
bruh.
just because William says it all the time.
Bruh, so sus. This one's the most sus. It's very cute when Isla tries to repeat it because she still has like a toddler voice.
Yeah, very cute voice.
It's very precious. Yeah, so there concludes our Gen Alpha slang. There was something that I had texted you about. Do you remember what it is?
No, but my phone might.
It was in relation to changing colors.
Leaves.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, ultimately it's just because they stopped making chlorophyll and then they died.
Yeah.
Which you said, no, there's more. There's more. And I'm like, fuck, there can't be more.
You summarized it very well, but they go into detail about this one. Hang on. Yes, it is this one. Okay. So if I play this, can you hear it?
Yeah. Is this from the Weather Network?
This is from the Weather Network. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just listening.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure, yeah.
Yes, we sourced this straight from the Weather Network.
It's scientific.
Okay.
There are a couple of main players here. Carotenoids are pigments that give leaves their yellow and...
So that was what I was referring to, and I was saying there's more.
Yes,
so carotenoids are the ones that make it specifically these yellow-orange colors. She will tell you more.
Tell me more.
This because carrot is a part of the name, although spelled wrong. These are always in the leaves, but you can't see them when the green from the chlorophyll is still there. Anthocyanins are pigments that bring out those beautiful...
So anthocyanins are the other ones.
Anthocyanins,
carotenoids, anthocyanins. Yeah.
If you have warm, sunny days and cool, but not freezing nights, you'll get those stunning bright reds and purples. The sunshine helps the leaves make sugars, which helps produce more of those anthocyanins that give you vibrant colors. On the flip side, if it's rainy, cloudy, or warmer than usual, the colors may look a bit muted. Too much rain or warmth means fewer anthocyanins, so the colors aren't as bold. The type of tree makes a difference too. Different trees show off different colors. For example, maples often turn a brilliant red, while oaks are more likely to go brown. And finally, there's the soil quality. Healthier trees, often because they're in good soil, tend to have more vibrant colors. So basically, the changing colors have everything to do with the tree getting ready for winter. And how bright or dull those colors are depends a lot on the type of tree, the soil, and of course, the weather.
There you go. Thank you, Weather Network.
Man.
So I had been wondering that exact same thing the week before. I was like, what makes them change color? And why do they change to these colors? Like, is it because they're bleaching out? Like, because I think it's one thing to like lose the green, but I was like, why does it turn yellow? Why does it turn red? Like some of the really dark maple leaves go lighter. Anyway, so when that video came up, I was like, oh my God, my prayers are answered.
I
watched it right away. But yeah, thank you for listening through that with me. But
you know what? I think
are you enlightened?
Sounds so dumb. But yeah, I'm enlightened and B, totally satisfied. I find like the answers to stupid questions like that so satisfying to me. Because like I'll be sitting there and I'll wonder that thing.
Yeah.
It's like why does this happen? There's this great TikTok account called, I want to say it's Veritaserum.
Okay.
Veritaserum. That's a fucking Harry Potter poison.
I was gonna say, isn't that a Harry Potter?
Veritasium or something like that.
Okay.
Veritasium science. Veritasium.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the final answer.
Okay.
And this guy posts some really, really cool videos. And one of them was how trees get water or nutrients essentially from the roots to the top of the tree. And it was, I guess the problem with the question was after a certain height, like natural pumps and stuff just don't work. So how do they get stuff up that high? And I guess the long story short is there's actually a negative pressure differential at the top of the tree. So it's like negative whatever atmospheres apparently.
Whoa.
I'll have to verify this now because it sounds incredible in my mind, but I feel like that was the answer. And just little things like that, like no one would think. We think about capillary action because that's what we were taught, how roots work and blah blah blah. So unless you pursue this even further, you're not really gonna question that. You're gonna be like, yeah, it's just fucking capillary action.
Absolutely.
No,
yeah.
Yeah. And I mean,
but
I'm
sure
more. Someone out there's going to be like, well, how do you think capillary action works? There has to be anyway. No one really. It's just I think that kind of stuff's really cool.
I think that fictitious person you were just referencing is like our own inner voice that is is it nihilist? Is that the word?
Well,
who's like a negative influence in our minds, because I don't think there's anybody out there actually being like, well, this is obviously how it works, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like there's...
Yeah, that voice. Okay.
But we have in our heads this perception that there's
that's
people
like
out there who are judging us and shit. And like the truth is, and I remember a coworker of mine many years ago saying this. He was like a grown adult with adult children. And he was like, I'll let you in on this little secret, Jenna. Nobody's watching. And I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, everybody's too self-involved to even see what's going on with you. So like you're worried about, am I upsetting people? Am I hurt? Like whatever.
No one's watching.
Like people are just too self-involved. And he's like,
yeah, that voice in your head is actually other people's voices that you've internalized based on how they've interacted with you and shaped you growing up.
That's the influences, I guess, in our lives.
No,
yeah.
But I think the distinction's important. It's not just the influences, but the influence that was resulted the resulting influence. You know what I mean? That was the impression that was made, and that's the learned behavior as a result of whatever the interaction was.
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. You. Those, especially in particular, those negative ones are the result of how people who have influenced you at certain points in your life, that's the resulting influence that I won't say they now have on you, because it's not them per se, it's how your subconscious formed, and it creates the framework through which you kind of view your whole entire existence.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's a whole in-depth conversation.
Long story short, love really crazy, stupid, completely unneeded information. You know what I mean?
All good. Were there some things that you were hoping to discuss on today's podcast episode?
I do have something, but I gotta find the name and the facts first.
Okay, that sounds good.
I am Googling sounds that sound familiar to this name. I heard about some lady back in the day.
Okay.
Who repped her problems and concerns in a very effective and violent manner.
Whereabouts?
I think I'm getting close.
Okay.
It's going to be ancient Rome.
Okay. Oh. So, like, it's been a minute.
About a minute.
Yeah.
Now, I got to be very careful here, because I saw this obviously in a TikTok, and so I don't know the surrounding information or the context, but I'm going to read a few things here. And all I'm going to do is talk about this lady, and I'll let everyone infer why it might be relevant. So her name is Bouquet.
Mm-hmm.
Boudica. Boudica. Also sounds like some sort of Gen Alpha slang.
Gen Alpha slang, yeah.
Known in Latin chronicles as Boudicca, and in Welsh as Buddig, was a queen of the ancient British Iceni tribe, tribe, who led a failed uprising against the conquering forces of the Roman Empire in AD 60 or 61. Now, it's important to note that her uprising did fail, but she did lead an uprising.
Mm-hmm.
She's considered a British national heroine and a symbol of the struggle for justice and independence. Her husband, who she had 2 daughters with, ruled as a nominally independent ally of Rome. So he was friendly with the Romans. He left his kingdom jointly to his daughter in the Roman Empire as well. Okay, so I'm going to go right to the events leading to the revolt. So her husband, on his death, made his 2 daughters, as well as the Roman Emperor Nero, his heirs. So now this tribe and all those areas now belong to his daughters, and the Romans ignored the will, and the kingdom was absorbed into the province of Britannia. The procurator of Britain was sent to secure this Iceni tribal kingdom for Rome. So, husband dies, 2 daughters, and Nero, who's a Roman emperor, were bequeathed all the land and stuff. And Rome says, now we're just going to take it all, and it's going to be ours. I'm assuming that's what all that meant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, the Romans' next actions were described by Tacitus, who detailed pillaging of the countryside, the ransacking of the king's household, and the brutal treatment of Boudica and her daughters. According to Tacitus, Boudica was flogged and her daughters were raped. These abuses are not mentioned in Dio's account. I don't know who Dio is.
The detective who is trying to solve the case.
who instead cited 3 different causes for the rebellion: the recalling of loans, blah, 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 and Boudica's own entreaties. Dio gives Boudica a speech to her people and their allies, reminding them that life was much better before the Roman occupation. The inferences were made that the rebellion, to find out how many people died. The Roman army was heavily outnumbered. According to Dio, the rebels numbered 230,000. So that's how many people Boudica had fucking amassed, I guess, or whatever. But Boudica's army was crushed. Neither the women nor the animals were spared. So they were all destroyed. But the way that this guy described it in the video was that as a result of how she and her daughters were treated, she decided to lead this uprising. This doesn't really explain in much more detail. I want to get more into this because it could be pretty relevant. But the idea here being, if you don't like something, you absolutely have every right to speak up against it. And if speaking doesn't work, I don't know. I'm not going to tell people to incite violence, but...
I mean, there's peaceful protests all the time, so I don't see why that couldn't happen. People have the right to think, have free speech.
Well, he said that from an archaeological point of view, like a lot of, historical events are recorded in the dirt, really.
Yes, yeah.
So you can dig down and you can carbon date things and you can figure out how old they were based off where they are in the sediment layer and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Well, there was 25 centimeter and then an additional up to 40 centimeter layer of evidence of this rebellion in the soil.
Holy.
So, yeah, like it wasn't just like a little bitty sort of marching in the streets kind of thing. Like people went to work and like they destroyed a lot of each other.
Right. Yeah. There was an epic amount of destruction.
Reported 80,000 people were said to have been killed by the rebels.
So the original TikTok account that you sort of acquired this info from, are they bringing up all kinds of different historical events, and this was one of them?
No, this was just on its own. Just bringing it up to show that it was actually, this was where it was confusing for me. When you read it and it's a video that's a reply to a comment, so I had to go to the original video.
Yes, yeah. You want to get to the origin of where did this even come from. Yeah, totally. I've gone down rabbit holes like that and ended up on some random account's profile page, and I'm like, how did I get here? I just go back to my For You, and I'm like, I wasn't meant to be here. This information's not for me. I feel like I don't know if you have this thought, but I'm realizing sometimes I'm like, this information, I don't want to say I cannot do anything with this information sometimes. And I feel like that feels overwhelming. I feel like there's a lot of TikTok accounts that are helpful, educational, what you're seeing, the history of it. And I'm like, this might just make me sad to watch sometimes. Yeah. So I feel like some of the content, I'm sure a lot of the content that's out there, I find myself steering away from. I'm like, I can't do anything with this. It won't help me. It won't help others. I will leave this for someone else.
Yeah, sometimes I really want to go into the weeds and look more, but you're right. It's like, is this gonna just make me sad? It's funny you say that too, because I saw another Diary of a CEO podcast with Stephen Bartlett.
Yes.
The people he has on there are just really, really fascinating
Phenomenal.
individuals.
Yeah.
And this one guy was saying he hasn't watched a scary movie in 15 years.
Okay.
And he has not had a nightmare in 15 years. Well, that's what he's saying, is the fact that the content he consumes contributes to the mindset he has before he goes to bed. So he's like, I try to watch happy stuff. Yeah, I try to, you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. Gosh, I feel like our brains are real fascinating. I remember learning that your brain can't make up faces.
Mm-hmm.
Every face that you've ever seen in a dream is a face that you've seen consciously or subconsciously in real life. Sorry. And I just feel like that's some wild shit that my brain is regurgitating faces that I don't even realize that it has seen, you know? And maybe it's a sign that like our brains are capable of a lot more than we give them maybe credit or opportunity.
I mean, if they
Not
were capable
everyone.
of more, they'd be able to create their own face.
Right, maybe.
I mean, I always am astounded by like our brain.
Yeah.
Like there's no screen
and how much
inside
happens
our head.
on the subconscious. Yeah.
Not even that. Like just like think about the things that you're looking at.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the monitor. I see your face. I see my face. I see the monitor, the webcam, and everything. But there's no actual physical image of that in my head.
Right.
It's not like I'm watching a TV inside my head of the things that my eyes are seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just electrical signals. It's just the most mind-boggling thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot square that circle. I don't know what I'm seeing.
Right.
I don't get it.
And we like consume so much audio, visual, whatever content so regularly that like our brains are quite easily overwhelmed. So you hear people struggling with a lot of I don't say mental illness, but like mental health
overload.
Yeah, mental health has
exhaustion.
Taken a big, like it's a lot more prevalent and relevant in today's day and age. And I mean, it's got to have some relationship to the information that we get doused with on a daily basis, right? Like the more you're consuming via these channels, like a digital channel, like it's too much, I think.
Holy shit.
What's that?
So the average person today is capable of processing up to 74 gigabytes of data in a single day.
74 compared to can they compare that to what it was going on like 30 years ago? They have a stat for that?
Yeah, there's going to be...
That's a lot.
It was something I remember reading a long time ago, something like, say the medieval times.
Yeah.
Medieval ages.
Yeah.
Like, they would not be exposed to the amount of information in their whole lifetimes as you are exposed to in one day.
In one day, yeah. Yeah. And that just puts into perspective where we're at socially, economically, all of the E's, Our world has changed so much in a very short amount of time.
The human brain is capable of processing 11 million bits of information. I got bits to gigabytes. Then that's not a good comparison.
I think it's small.
Well, like 11 million of them is a lot.
Right. But it doesn't give you a gigabyte figure.
Megabyte. 1.3 megabytes. This doesn't make sense. Per second.
Per second. Oh.
So 1.3 megabytes per second. Yet our conscious awareness is limited to managing just 40 to 50 bits of information per second. Like, that's an insane ratio. Your brain can process 11 million of them, but you're only aware of 40 to 50.
Crazy. And have we always been doing this? You know, I wonder, like...
That's a great question.
And we just haven't had the opportunity that we have now. I think of Elon Musk, you know, like his brain's working on some other playing field, right? It just makes you wonder if we were all functioning the way Elon Musk's brain functions.
Yeah, he's on another level.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, are we all capable of that? And will we all eventually be that way?
I mean, I feel like the answer is no.
Okay.
Not all capable of that.
Yeah.
I think all of our brains individually could have been capable, but like we're not all the same smart. If we all grew up the exact same way, we would probably all have the exact same brain. But even then, that's not possible because genetics.
Right.
So a comparison of 2008 to 1980.
Okay.
So a University of California, San Diego study claims that U.S. households consumed a total of approximately 3.6 zillion. Nope. 3.6 zettabytes of information. I don't know what a fucking zettabyte is. 3.6 zettabytes. Which is 3.6 to the exponent 12 gigabytes. Which is a fuck ton of gigs. The digital equivalent of a 7-foot-high stack of books covering the entire United States, which is a 350% increase since 1980. So in 28 years...
Sorry, can you repeat the fact about the books? How many books that equates to?
7. So the entire United States covered with a 7-foot-high stack of books.
7-foot-high stack of books.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a massive piece of land with a very tall layer of books over it. And
I'll never read that many books in my life.
350% more than 1980. Oh man, we could do the math here. Area of USA. You might have to talk about something while I figure this out.
Yeah, this is intense mathematics, which I am not. It's not my strength. I'm sure I've discussed this many times.
Only intense because I'm performing it. A smarter person would do this much quicker.
I picture the meme of the lady with like the mathematical figures
yes,
floating around in front of her.
Like the how to rob the casino lady.
Was that where the origin is from? Okay, well I'm gonna look that up now.
Yeah, I'm picturing Zach Galifianakis from The Hangover. I don't know why I said lady.
Oh, okay. Meme of woman with equations. Confused math lady.
Confused math.
There's so many, man. Know your meme. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is her name? I want to know more about math lady. Math lady or confused lady, known in Brazil as Nazaré Confusa, is an internet meme. It shows Renata Sora surrounded by mathematical problems in a scene from 2004 Brazilian soap opera Senhora do Destino, where she plays Nazaré Tedesco. The telenovela was widely popular in Brazil at the time, receiving high ratings even in reruns. Nazaré Tedesco, Sora's character in the show, is one of the most famous villains in the history of Brazilian telenovelas, and different memes involving her are popular in the country. Math Lady received international popularity. This is amazing. And all reminded me of it'll come back to me. Math Lady. Now we know. I want to see all the Math Lady memes. Math Lady meme. There's how to create one. I don't need that though. There's one meme here that says when a woman says she's 29 weeks pregnant with the Math Lady meme. There's a male version
of the same math meme.
No, it's not the same. Very similar, but it's a guy. Can I share my screen here?
You sure can.
Screen. Share. Here we go. So this dude, what's he doing? This one. Me. Everyone is so gullible. Internet. Ever living was murdered and replaced by the government. Me. Boy. Enough of the Math Lady memes. But pretty much anything that starts with a number, my brain starts doing the Math Lady meme immediately. Yeah. Fun fact. This is reminding me a lot of recently I calculated the amount of houses that are in my particular subdivision. And the number is quite large. And we estimated the amount of taxes that are being generated just from this subdivision alone. It's like over 1.5 million, right? I'm thinking, across town, if just this small area is contributing that much, then like across town, like it's got to be in the close to 10 million range for all of Port Hope, I think. And so it got us thinking, because we just had like a park replaced locally, and it hasn't been replaced in 30 plus years. And it was significant. It is now significantly smaller than it used to be. And apparently we're not the only park in town that this has happened to. There have been a couple other parks. And initially when I realized, this is going to be the final size of the park, there's no more structure coming in, I had this moment, and only because I took a decorating class. I'm sure somebody who's taken design or, urban planning and whatnot would know this much better. But I feel like you become familiar with making a mistake when you order something because you haven't checked the dimensions or sizing. This was a particularly big deal when I took like my kitchen and bath design course, because it can literally make or break your whole design. Like if your fridge is an inch off, or if the door hinge hangs out 3/4 of an inch or something like that, like suddenly it doesn't fit in the opening that you've allocated for the fridge, your whole kitchen is effed up, right? So in my mind, I'm picturing somebody who works in Parks and Rec placing the order for all this equipment that they are planning to upgrade. And I'm willing to bet, like, I'm just like, I have this image of them being in their office and either talking to the people who are like the actual playground, like the actual company that provides the equipment and sells it to towns and cities and whatever, and just getting like so jazzed. They're like, wow, this is so affordable. My goodness.
Jazzed.
Yeah. They're like, this is so affordable. This equipment is amazing. But then like never double checking the actual size of everything. And I wonder if they actually thought that they were getting a larger, the few structures that have been replaced. I wondered if they thought that they were going to get much bigger structures equivalent to what was already in existence. And my whole, reason for rambling on about this is like, we have so few children playing outside anymore. Like, so I find it really painful, and it upsets me a lot. And I know why. Like, being a parent, like you one can't just let your kids go outside anymore until they're a certain age for so many reasons. Like, you will get children's services called on you if somebody feels like it, and then you can have your kids taken away. There's the other side where like it's not safe anywhere. We had talked about, because where we used to live was like on a really busy high-speed road. And we talked about, in our next place, we don't want to live on a high-speed busy. It doesn't matter. People come around the corner in my 40-kilometer-per-hour neighborhood, like flying down the road at 60 constantly. Like it's still
flying.
Yeah, and a Ford Escort.
And a fucking Ford Escort.
And it's not, I don't want to say it makes no difference, but like, I don't think it even actually matters whether you live on a busy road or not. It might be safer if you live on a busy road, because then you're like, I know to expect this. I will prevent the danger more adequately. Yeah. And then, where was I getting at with this? Oh yeah, we want more kids at the parks. Well, then we've got to like make the parks really attractive so that the kids will go to them. Don't and especially decrease the amount of equipment that's there. And like, I understand, use your imagination, use your whatever. Yeah, but you're using tax dollars to do this. So like, I think maybe the people should have a say. And like, I would have preferred at this point for them to have just left what was there, because I'm under the impression that there was nothing wrong with it and it was being used on a daily basis. I drive by that park 4 times a day minimum, and nobody's there anymore. Like, I've seen people there 6 times maybe, and yeah, like I said, I go by so frequently, I don't love it. Anyway, all this to say that I use my math skills to solve that problem.
Yeah. I definitely know for a fact that we got fucked.
Yeah.
So,
where are we at, Colin?
Okay, I figured out the math. So the area of the United States of America in kilometers squared, because we're civilized.
Yeah.
9,833,520 kilometers squared. That's the area. Okay. Multiplied by 7. Because that's the
7
height.
feet high. Yeah.
So you get a total volume of 68,834. 640 kilometers cubed.
Yeah.
Now, I figured out that the original number, so the increase was 350%, right?
Yeah.
From 1980. Yep. So I'm trying to figure out what the height of books was in 1980.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So basically, you take the 68 million and divide it by 4.5 for 450%, which is 100% of the original number in 1980 plus the 350% increase, so 4.5. Okay. Divide her up. You get 15,314,320 kilometers cubed. So the volume. Mm-hmm. To find the new height of books, I divide it by the area. Because volume is based on length times
and then it
width
will
times
give
height.
you the height of the books. Got it. Okay.
It'll give me the height. So
Yep.
if in 2008 we were consuming 7 feet of books per square foot of the United States, in 1980 they were only consuming 1.56 feet of books per square foot of the United States. And I did some rough math. 1.56 times 5 gives you 3.5 gives you 5.46. So I mean, these are huge numbers and not a lot of decimal places, so that checks out. Yeah. Because the 1.56 is that 100%, and then the 5.44 is the 350% increase. So we're reading 5.44 more feet of books in 28 years later.
And sorry, was this figure per day?
Per year, per annum,
per year,
to be scientific.
Per year, yes, per annum.
Yes, and obviously that number is probably continuing to grow.
Real, yeah.
So our parents are dum-dums, basically. Sorry,
Dad. What that says to me is that we were already consuming a lot. Not a lot of people. I'm starting to sound like Trump. I feel as though that was like a reasonable amount. And now we're like in the upper echelon of like expectations and whatnot. That's wild.
Yeah, there's no ability. Like, I don't know. I saw a really great one. It was.
Are we going to just keep growing? Like, at what percentage rate does this keep growing? Right?
Yeah,
like,
and does it plateau ever?
Yeah, in 20, 30 years, like, what does that look like? And
well, I mean, what if
then we'll be the dum-dums, and we'll be like, but hey, we grew by 350%.
Yeah, we had to learn how to use cell phones. We grew by 6,000%.
Yeah.
We were way smarter. We were way smarter than our parents, and they're just talking to you in a different language. Like, they don't even care to address you in your native tongue anymore because you're an idiot.
Yeah, Gen Alpha's
fucking
slang
pricks.
Then becomes completely like, the language that people use. Is like, what?
Bad.
We sound dumb, but we're way smarter. You'll never know it.
This is simple shit.
It's like when Kevin Malone tries to speak without using.
Why say few words, or why say lot word when few word do trick?
Yeah,
something like that. Hey, look at this, my Dunder Mifflin shirt.
Sick.
What a happenstance.
Was that a 2? That was a 2. Was that like a clearance? You were saying that you got that for a steal, I think.
Yeah, it was like $12, and it's licensed.
You were like licensed, real.
This is hot shit.
Yeah, it's for real. Maybe we should give away a Dunder Mifflin shirt for our 100th episode.
Yeah, what do you guys want? We got to give something away for a big 100.
100. We had considered, I think, a book. We discussed a couple options: a book, and now a shirt. We could do a gift card. Something.
Because we did a gift card for, was it 50?
I think it was 50. Yeah.
Man, I feel like
gift card to where?
I feel like 50 was so long ago.
It was so long ago.
Oh my God.
It's because I keep taking these breaks.
Yeah, quit having kids, fuck.
God.
Yeah, how dare you
or
be just
have
wonderful.
Kids, but then bring them onto the podcast.
No.
Immediately no kids allowed.
I can barely focus with just my own thoughts. Right. It took me 7 minutes to do all that math, which would have took a reasonable person about 1 minute. And I used ChatGPT to verify my work.
I'm curious to know if Jordan will figure that out when he listens to the podcast.
Before I give the answer.
Before you give the answer, and then he'll be like, verified. Love it.
That's so funny. But you don't bring it up. Because if you tell him beforehand, he's going to pay attention. I don't want him to fucking get a leg up.
Yeah, he's going to have too much information. My mom said my dad used to do math just like abstractly.
Boy.
And it would perplex her every time. She was like, and my mom's like decent at math. She was like a average math student. I'm like 0% at math, right? But yeah, my dad was kind of like a savant with math. To like really digest. Yeah. Yeah. Incorporate ABCDs.
That's why I would never get like an MBA or anything like that. All you're doing is fucking answering trick questions.
True. No mercy.
Can't do it.
I'm thinking about how many books. Yeah, the difference in books. Which, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys had a 7-foot tall pile of books,
Mm-hmm.
what would be in that pile of books? We should give away a 7-foot tall pile of books. Maybe 5.44.
For the difference of.
Well, we're gonna do it like
a little package of books.
Height to height, not fucking flat to flat, because we're not rich. We can't afford that many books.
Well, like I was just thinking we could do that. We just like might have to thrift a couple, you know. Go on
we should,
used
what we should do is we should go thrift.
Really
like,
good books
we find, and then we can do either like one massive giveaway where someone just gets a whole shitload of books that they'll never read.
Yeah.
We'll just give away each book, and we'd have to make sure we have a lot of people participate. You each get 1 foot of books, or it's because they're the only 7 people who participated in the draw.
I mean, I'm okay with either. I feel like
I don't really care. It's fun.
I'm happy to have our audience grow. I'm very content with the way it is now. Yeah, what may, you know.
Yeah, we'll take recommendations though. If anyone wants to weigh in on what they think a cool giveaway would be.
Giveaway, yeah.
The draw the crowds and Taylor Swift tickets.
My gosh, yes.
Yeah,
we didn't even
cost
talk
a 7-foot tall pile of fucking money.
Yeah, so for fun, I went online, and because Taylor Swift is coming to Toronto, which is not too far from here. I have no interest in attending. It's just not my gig. But a lot of people are going. She has 6 dates, I believe, lined up over the course of like the next week and a half. And, you know, I'm sure they weren't this price when they started, but they're here now. Boy. The lowest price ticket I could find was in the neighborhood of $3,000. And, you know, it went up to 5. So, I mean, you got some playroom in there. But
this is for the seats that are available?
Yes. So, there are, because they're scalper tickets at this point, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's insane. Do you think they'll sell those? Like, would you rather sell a $3,000 ticket, or take a chance and sell a $3,000 ticket, right? Or price it higher than what you paid, but like, I'm sure they didn't pay $2,500 for the ticket initially, right? They probably paid
about
a few hundred. Yeah, they probably paid a few hundred. Like, I'm thinking between $500 and $1,000
for some of the. I don't know.
Because this was for fun, 4 tickets together,
and one of them was upper level. Were any of them upper level?
Back there, they were back.
Fuck
yeah,
off.
They were in the back.
Yeah, they got to be just taking advantage of people who are desperate. Like they
well, yeah, because all of a sudden they're like, Mom. They hear their child, Mom, I decided I wanted to go see Taylor Swift. Oh my God, it would make my whole life and my whole dreams. And if you're a mom and you're on TikTok, you see other moms taking their daughters to Taylor Swift concert and getting dressed up because you know you're not attending the Eras tour, sans an outfit to go.
God.
Because I'm not sure if you've seen, but that's part of it too.
I
And
didn't know that.
People are, it's become like it's more than just an event. There's the attending the concert part, but there's everything associated with attending the concert. So like getting there, what you're wearing, being at the concert. Like I feel like most of the time if you're going to an event, like you've got an outfit picked out, but this is beyond that from what I've seen. And I get it. Like if I had access to those kind of dollars, I'd probably consider it, but it's 0 times possible.
It's not, and I don't know how. I know Cassie's friend Rebecca got Taylor Swift tickets. I'll have to get the story from her because she had this. She probably could have got in sooner, but she thought the email they got was a scam, which is becoming a problem.
It is, yeah, because there's these very convincing lookalike websites where
and
people are losing a lot of money.
I thought that Ticketmaster was getting in a lot of trouble for the resale market. Wasn't there some legal action coming down about that?
I don't know if there's legal action coming down about it, but yes, because of the resale prices, things were hairy. But like, they're one of the few trusted websites where you can get tickets, and so people go to Ticketmaster for the product, right?
It's the source. It's what's available.
Yeah. If you're gonna get something legitimately and not get scammed, then Ticketmaster's the safest bet. But I feel like they have too much of a monopoly on the whole thing. It's not good.
Yeah, and I think that maybe what that was geared towards was that they've made it impossible for any kind of competition for ticket prices.
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Where was I getting at with this? Yeah, it's expensive to go see Taylor Swift. Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I get it. Like, you know, she gets more popular.
My favorite. Yeah.
Sorry, she gets more popular. She got more venues. She needs more staff. Everything costs more. Everything's more expensive. Plus, whatever ridiculous contracts they got set up. And so but I mean, Tom Stewart can say what he wants, but Garth Brooks always had reasonably priced tickets at his concerts, and people still went. I don't know.
Yeah, he did. It was a string of 4 shows in Ottawa. Because he sold out the first one, they added a date, sold out, added a date, sold out. And then he ended up doing 2 in one day.
That's awesome.
So it was 4 total, and they were all sold out. And he probably could have sold way more. Because I'm thinking of like the capacity at the, what is it called now? Canadian Tire Center. But yeah, so Taylor Swift, I'm not sure where she's playing. I'm assuming that, is it still called, what is it called now? Scotiabank Arena? No, because the
Toronto?
Roger.
Yeah, she wouldn't play in Ottawa, would she? It's too small.
No. She's in Toronto and Vancouver. So I saw 2 dates in Vancouver and then 6 in Toronto. But I'm thinking, like, people who are really into T Swift are flying in from other parts of the country to go see her. Right? Like, it's not just people in Toronto going to see her. I'm sure of it. People are coming from out east. People are going from out west who can't go to Vancouver. You know what I mean? Like,
do you think there are those people, those ones that go to see, like they travel to see as many shows as they can from the same, like from that tour?
Right.
Do you think there are people that can afford that for these kinds of concerts? I'm sure there are.
Are there people who can afford it? Yes. Are they going to Taylor Swift? I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. I'm afraid for the answer, though, to be quite honest.
Yeah. There is an astronaut that I just started following, like last week. She became an astronaut and has flown to, like, on one space mission. And her big, like, her presence on social media is often combined with, like, she's doing this for her daughter. She wants to show her daughter that she can have everything. She can have the career that she dreams of and have the family life too. It's like when this woman's home, she's with her daughter. It's like they're doing their thing. Like they're together. They're hanging out. They're like having all those memories and moments. And then when she's gone for work, like she is still like her daughter's still her first priority. So like she was talking about how
that's
the
what you
outfits
want
she
from
wears.
a fucking fellow astronaut. Fuck.
Well, not. I mean, I don't want to say literally, but like when she was conducting this interview, she said, "I picked out my outfit because I knew my daughter would be watching at home, and like I wanted her to see me dressed in this, or you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's her. She flew to space, and like they're in the oh my gosh, what is it called?
yeah, this fucking microphone.
I don't want to say in the space shuttle, but like I don't know what the technical term is, but they're
the space station.
There is no more gravity, and she's floating, and she looks at Earth, and she's like, and you can see in her face that she's like, "Holy shit! I have left Earth. I am no longer on a planet." And she's like, her daughter's name's Delta, and she goes, "Hi, Delta." Like
That's
it's very cute.
It's I guess it's like one of the sweet benefits of being an astronaut is when you go to space and you look down on the Earth. Flat earthers, you can ignore all of this.
Yeah. Just skip to the end.
Just that sense of who you are and what's real and what's not becomes really clear.
Apparent, yeah.
It makes it a lot easier to ignore a bunch of the trivial bullshit and all the stupid little things.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, helps you
imprints reality on you.
Yeah, ignore the stuff that's not important. And the only thing I'd want to say about this chick and her social media account is, like, it's really good content and that's like really wholesome stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really dangerous to look at it and think that it's all real. Like I'm sure.
Is it 100% perfect all the time? Sure, no.
And it just creates a dangerous precedent for comparison. You know what I mean? She's an astronaut and she can manage her home and her family, and I can't even do that, and I just have a regular full-time job. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
mm-hmm.
It's
there's a grandiosity
yourself,
about it
like,
that isn't
be
attainable.
Careful.
Yeah.
I mean, even I don't know. That's why it's like you're putting this out there for your daughter. Are you setting unreal expectations for her now? Are you just setting her up for failure because she's not going to be able to achieve what you've achieved? I don't know if that's...
And I want to say, like, I hope that she maintains a realistic relationship with her daughter, where it's like, maybe she doesn't want to do maybe she does want to go work at an office or like do hair or something. It's like totally unrelated and like maybe doesn't seem so grandiose.
Yeah.
But I hope that she would still have the same pride and joy and like desire to support her daughter in those choices. Yeah, for sure. Is that kind of what you were trying to convey?
Yeah, that's probably like a better way of saying it, because I was kind of just pointing out it was more cynical. Not that I was trying to be cynical, but I just know personally, like, it's really easy to get sucked into those comparison tunnels where you don't stop and take just a step back and acknowledge that this is all intentional content. This is not everything that's happening all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're aware of it going into it. So you can just, I won't say protect yourself, but you're
kind of
keeping your world grounded.
Kind of, yeah. I think it's, and this is probably a conversation for another day, but it's the grip that social media has on people in society right now is they call it dangerous because of this. I don't say because of this, like it's not her specifically, obviously.
No, but it's that.
But it's the
inability to separate.
misconception. Yeah, the misconception. And it's like, of course, people are posting the good stuff. And when they're posting the bad stuff, it's very curated bad stuff. It's not the real bad stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very well thought out. It's not ugly and in the trenches. Even if it looks ugly and in the trenches, it's all by design.
I doubt it. Yeah. And I think that's what attracted me to TikTok initially, is that it was very unedited at first. And, you know, along the way, obviously things change. And part of TikTok changing is there's a lot of false content out there now. But I think I don't want to say it gave me hope, but like it made me hopeful that there is still a reality where things are reasonable out there somewhere.
And I think we
could still be goofy and dumb about things if we want to.
Yes. Yeah.
And like real life happens and whatnot.
Just not take ourselves so seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. And like just be real with each other. I feel like I don't know if it's like how I grew up, but I feel like there's a lot of like need to present yourself in a certain way, perhaps, that do we need to do that? Can we just like show up as our authentic selves, and like the people who like us, and the people who don't, and like what's wrong with that? You know?
Yeah, it's what happens when people in your lives live perception first. What does everyone else think about me and not what do I care about what's going on in my world right now?
Sorry, I haven't heard that before. Live perception first. I find that interesting.
And that's like the primary reason I think about what you're discussing, which is
yes. Sorry, I had to write that down.
Compare ourselves so much to other people when we don't need to be. We have no business comparing ourselves to other people, because what we know about those people is absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter what, like we talked about this last week with Elon Musk. We have no idea about any of them. I was watching a YouTube video, and this guy was doing a thing on Elon Musk. This was after we discussed it, and it was a 40-minute gig, and I had to stop watching it because he just kept contradicting himself. He was, talking about how Elon Musk calls himself autistic, and then he identifies as being on the spectrum, but there's no formal diagnosis. And then later on, this guy admits that he identifies as being on the spectrum. Nothing wrong with that, but the way both pieces of information were presented, they seem contradictory.
Okay.
And then later on, he talks about, I'm not going to make any comments on his mental health or whatever, but I was like, man, you've said a lot of shit.
But you have already, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not just the fact that he's only speaking factually, or what he calls factually about this, which is not his opinion. But later on, he'd already given his opinion about many aspects of Elon Musk and the way he runs his business and the way he carries himself. And I was like, if you had any understanding of his psychology and who he is and how he operates, you'd understand that you are actually commenting on his mental health.
Yes,
right
yeah.
now, because
you're like,
he's a
that's
very different
exactly
person.
What you're doing.
Yeah, he's not like anyone else. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. It's just, we don't have all the information, and because of that, we have to remind ourselves that no one else has all the information about us, and so it's inappropriate for anyone to come to conclusions about anyone other than themselves, really.
So don't trust the internet, folks.
Yeah, unless it's on Reddit. Reddit's usually pretty good.
As the kids say, that's sus.
That's so funny. We got three live viewers. Whoa, keep ratcheting these numbers up. I feel like now that we've got 3, we're about to quit.
Well, I was just thinking, I was like, oh yeah, it's probably time to wrap. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, for jumping on the live. We love it so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're so excited to have you.
We're down to 2. Thanks, fucker. Whoever you were that quit early. My God.
Left us.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's probably
well, thank you so much. We will see you all again next time.
Have a good week, everyone.